Konnichiwa, and welcome to a scene of Kyoto by night. This will be a Henga scene, and it will begin with the Haken Shimazu Yoshihiro coming in search of Kamiko at her family's Okiya.
Yoshi will be approaching it in a more austere suit than he was last seen in when the two characters met last. As he enters, he takes a quick glance around.
The doors are basically permanently locked, but the person, when you knock on the door, the person that is next to the door will ask you who you're here to see.
Yoshi sort of just strokes his beard and I'm here to see Hikari, Kamiko.
This is what it looks like, by the way. And she will nod and hurry off into the Okiya to have a few words and then be back to show you through to a sitting room.
Yoshi will bow and follow.
Quick question. Did you take your shoes off?
He did.
Good. Because there is the nice little racks by the side.
Yeah, I've got etiquette for it. I think I'd have known to take my shoes off.
Okay. And you're shown through to a sitting room where an older lady is heading out with a set of fans in her hands, and she looks slightly less put together than last time, but still quite elegant as she sits down and gestures for you to take a seat opposite. Please, do take a seat.
Oh, thank you. And Yoshi will take his seat opposite.
Would you care for some tea?
Please.
And conveniently at that time, the same young girl that had been sitting next to the door and scurried off to to let them know that you're in, brings in a tea set, which Kamiko pours from and serves them both a cup of tea, handing yours to you first.
Yoshi will take a quick sip of the tea. So, how are you finding your Sentai then? Almost casually saying it.
I believe that there are rather more differences than there are similarities, despite our common lineage. And yourself? How do you find your Sentai?
Oh, I am Sentai-less. Although I am a resident of this city, I've never really found working with others to be in my best interest at times. Or I have always been. It seems that everyone seems to be either the fist or is gifted with being the fist, and I find to do the other court auspices annoying.
I see. And she'll take another sip of tea.
So I thought perhaps maybe we two can find some common ground and can perhaps work together. Since you seem to be disagreeing with your common lineage and I seem to be lacking a Sentai at my back.
And what do you feel that the purpose of this Sentai would be?
Well, like all Sentai, to help out the Emerald Mother. But I'm guessing you mean a little bit more than that.
Well, it will be to help out the Emerald Mother, but I mean more specific as to the methods and specific aims which we choose to follow in order to meet that task to the best of our abilities.
I don't mind who I follow, providing it's still an honourable way. Into whatever end his means. I do not mind. Never really fancied myself as a lantern anyway, so whichever one of us has that honour can lead my path. Providing I get to fight for the Emerald Mother, I really do not care.
She'll give you a small smile. Well then, I think that we should see about trying to locate a few more possible members, but I certainly think it is worth investigating the possibility of forming a new Sentai.
Most excellent. Perhaps there will be more wanderers still looking for this city.
It does seem that there are quite a few people finding their way to the Emerald Mother of late.
Well, we always do find our way back to her. It just takes time for some people.
Both her and the white-faced lady do tend to guide our way.
White-faced lady, I take it that's your own belief then?
It's the moon. Kitsune blessed by the moon, much as I hear the Hakan are.
Oh, we are. I'm afraid I was raised among Hakan. I do not really know much about your selves, should I say? Other than your infamy for practical jokes.
A sense of humour is vital in serving the Emerald Mother, but jokes must always be balanced. They're there to encourage growth, not simply to make a mockery of other people.
Well, I suppose that is a noble aim. I just prefer the honourable fighting the enemies of the Emerald Mother in an open battlefield, but not all of us are gifted with that, I suppose.
No, that's certainly not something I find myself particularly adept at.
Well, I'm sure you have your own path that you can help the rest of our Sentai follow.
And she will nod. My path is that of learning. Constant study. Constant practice. Constant devotion to art and to bettering oneself.
Well, at least on two of those things we can agree.
She'll raise an eyebrow.
Constant practice and bettering oneself always seem to be most useful.
Do you not think that your battle skills can count as an art?
I take no pleasure in violence. I simply... In some ways, yes, but I take no pleasure in knowing that my blade kills. I just simply kill.
Yes, but the practice of it...
It's simply a means as self-defense. For every 1,000 strikes I practice, only one of them will ever be needed.
Do you take no pleasure in learning?
I take pleasure in learning, but only when I must. But
And she will nod. Well, we each choose a different path in life. Indeed, the kitsune are known for 4. But even within those, everyone must choose their own path.
Of course, if we all were good at everything, then the Emerald Mother wouldn't have made so many of us. Kitsune, even those western kindred of ours. Even if they
They are
are.
barbaric, but they serve the mother in their own way. Admittedly, a somewhat arrogant one, to think that they alone, of all the Emerald Mother's children, can handle all of the tasks set before them.
Well, that is true. But I'm sure our path will be, hopefully, an easier one to start with than a road of sorrow.
I very much hope so.
I must admit this will be the first time that I've ever heard of one of my kind working with a kitsune. My lineage, I don't think, has ever really been known for working alongside the others too much. We prefer to keep ourselves to ourselves.
Yes, well, we are all part of the Beast Courts. We all serve the Emerald Mother. We all do our part in our own way as best as we can.
Well, that we can all agree.
Have you any thoughts as to any others individuals we might want to approach?
No, I have no real ideas. I don't know what you call them, the Shark one and Death Before Dishonor both seem rather intent on violence, and Ratkin. They are lowborn. I do not like the idea of Ratkin. But if there are any of your breed that you find could be useful, I am more than welcome to listen to suggestions.
Well, I will have a word with some of them and see what their thoughts are on the matter. I should not like to speak for them. This is a matter that must be decided for oneself.
Of course, of course. There is no point leading a mule to the wrong path.
Yes, I don't think that I shall be working with Dr. Mishima any further.
You find his methods distasteful?
I find them rash.
Well, I suppose for someone seeking enlightenment, I suppose rash doesn't always help.
You're aware of the explosion?
Oh, I am more than aware of the explosion. We were all there after all.
Yes. Dr. Mishima instigated it.
Ah. Now, for that one I won't thank him. I do not like my life being risked unnecessarily. I'm all for serving the Emerald Mother, but being dead doesn't help me serve anyone now, does it?
No. He could have at least attempted to warn your group, or even our group, as we were standing in the same room. Not to mention his eagerness to throw someone literally to the sharks.
Well, I find it best not to annoy predators that don't think too much about what they eat.
Yes, well, as I said, I find him rash, and that is not the best course of action in most circumstances.
Well, I hope you find me less rash. Perhaps headstrong, but I doubt I'll be as rash as your good doctor.
I hope so as well.
Well, perhaps the Emerald Mother will send us more recruits for our proposed Sentai.
Have you many thoughts on what purpose our Sentai will fulfill, what it will aim to do, what spirit we may seek the blessing of?
Well, as I said, I have no real issue on which spirit we follow or what we achieve, providing it's all for the betterment of the Emerald Mother. I have no real issues. I find that better for the Lantern to decide. I know
Very
my
well.
role. Providing the Lantern has no problems with the Fist needing to do his or her job every now and then.
Of course. Everyone has a purpose. This is how balance is made and maintained.
Yoshi'll smile at that. Working with you could be an interesting adventure, I will say that.
Many things in the service of the Emerald Mother are an interesting adventure.
True. Let's just hope it's a good adventure.
And with a happy ending.
I'm not expecting a happy ending, but if one does happen, I won't mind it.
Well, we should hope that we are successful in our duties.
Oh, we will be. I have no doubts on that one. But the legends of the Hengyokai tend to be short, not long, drawn-out tales.
This is true. Of course, some are more along the lines of epics, but they are few. They are legendary.
And the legends often burn out fast.
Yes.
But perhaps that may not be our fate. The Emerald Mother, as you say, has a plan for most of us.
And the stream outlasts the bonfire. For all that it may not be as bright or as showy, it plays its part.
And hopefully that part will be an honourable one. I would hate for us to end up like one of those Western savages.
Yes, slaughtering the other breeds and thinking it right.
Exactly. And yet us Hengyokai are more diverse and yet still seem to have rather strong ties to each other. Does make you wonder.
It does a little. But the beast courts are diverse with the various different breeds of Fera. And yet they maintain strong ties to one another.
Well, true. You do make a good point there, my dear lady. But perhaps our bonds are slightly stronger than everyone thinks.
They're as strong as we encourage them to be. By remembering them, remembering our duty to one another, remembering the war of shame, and remembering what was lost outside of the beast courts in their folly, we remember the value of those ties. And through doing that, we encourage and reinforce them.
Good points. Well, perhaps working in a closer Sentai then will help those bonds be closer then.
I very much hope so.
As do I. Now, the night is, well, the day is still young. Perhaps I will see you around the various places of Kyoto.
And Kamiko will nod and will rise.
Yoshi will rise and give a curt bow.
And Kamiko will show Yoshi out. And then she will go on about her duties in the Okiya. Next up, giving the apprentice lessons in shamisen. But there the scene will end.